All right. Instagram's all set up.
What's up, guys?
How you guys doing? Titan Talk Tuesday, Christmas Eve edition. So we couldn't leave it out. Special time today, and we got the special guest here, Cherise.
And Zena.
Yeah, and Zena. Yeah, you can't forget Zena, right? So we're here. We're actually in our house right now, in our office, our study here. And we're getting ready for all the great things that are upon us in 2020. But before we get there, we still got Christmas, Hanukkah going on for those people out there. People celebrating Kwanzaa and all the different religions out there. I hope you guys are having a safe holiday, safe Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate with your loved ones or yourself. So we got a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk about some of the awesome things that are coming up, like the Titan Show on ABC from Crystal River to Sarasota.
Super exciting.
Super exciting. So we were in the studio of ABC last week going over some of these things of exactly what we're going to be using, equipment-wise, kind of planning out, like, you know, what it's going to look like for you guys to see. When you guys see it, January 5th, 11 a.m., ABC, Frontier Spectrum. If you're in Florida, from Sarasota to Crystal River, you are going to see us live. Well, not live, but it will be our first show. So
but it's every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday at 11.
Every Sunday at 11. So you guys will see us. We'll get to talk about all types of things. Me and Therese were thinking about what we should be talking about. Relationship things, like, you know, what makes relationships better. We'll also talk about what Titan does, but we're not going to bore you guys with just all kinds of therapies and pitches and stuff like that. It's going to be almost like a reality show.
I mean, honestly, guys, just because I have all of you guys right now, if you guys happen to have any cool ideas,
What up, Vito?
and you guys know us, okay, and you guys know of a cool idea that we should talk about,
Sammy?
please, 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 write it. Write it on the thread so I can see it. Because I'll go back through the videos and I'll see what's going on. And if there's any cool ideas, we'll apply it.
Yeah.
We need to apply it. So help us.
Yeah, so we got all these different segments. We have 30 minutes from 11 to 11:30 every Sunday. So it's going to be really cool. We're going to obviously have these taped, and we'll send them out to you guys that are not in the state to be able to see what our show looks like. But it's going to be really cool, full production. It's going to be awesome. So we are really, really excited to be able to share that with you guys. We're excited for the opportunity, you know, and be able to be on TV and really hit a lot of different people that we really don't get to hit social media-wise. We do hit a lot of people on social media around the country as far as that goes. We get a lot of love. We got a lot of shirts, a lot of clothing out there, a lot of people that support our brand, and we appreciate you guys. We really, really do. So we want to send a thanks and a shout out to all you guys for that. I think it's big. Without you guys, we would not be here today, and we would not be doing what we love to do.
Yeah, we would not be here where we're at today.
For real, we wouldn't be. So it's just a true, true blessing in disguise. So it's going to be awesome. So Titan Talk today. What up, Emily? Got a lot of people in. Yeah. So Sammy, maybe we can even talk about some of these contests coming up. You know, all different types of things. So I'm going to have all types of different guests on there. I think me and Drew are working on special guests, like a chef and stuff like that. I got some other people doing recipes and stuff like that so you guys can see it. So today we're going to talk about all types of different things. So if you can see the comments or you see the blurb, PCT. If you don't know what PCT is, we'll tell you what that is. Do you really need it? If you know what it is, we'll go over that as well. We've got peptides. So peptides are a new and oncoming thing. Like peptides are, they're really taking over our industry. They're helping a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So we'll talk about what peptides are, some of the peptides that really can help you that Titan Medical Center offers, and some of the things that are coming up for you guys. So you guys can learn more about that. All right, a decade is ending. So New Year's is coming. 2020 is upon us. And man, the decade went quick. And with that decade, it made me remind myself, I've been on HRT and TRT, HRT for 10 years. So it's been a decade for me to be on this therapy myself. And people always ask me all the time, Titan's been around for 7 years. You know, how is it being on hormone replacement therapy or TRT? Is it a lifelong thing you have to do? You know, so we'll talk about that and get into it, conversate with some of you guys' questions, because I get questions about it all the time. What up, Illumatic? How you doing? What's up, guys? Nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Christmas Eve. Sorry for slamming your faces down. Christmas Eve. He's Slide Young 94. Excited with my journey with you guys. Got me a blood work done a couple of days ago. Skylar, that's awesome. So that's another thing we'll talk about. Therapy of the week. If you guys get our newsletter, you guys know that every week we produce a therapy of the week. And we give you education on it. We talk about it more. And we talk about how the benefits can help you with these therapies. So this newsletter, and if you guys are not tuned into the newsletter yet, it's real simple and real easy to do. All you got to do is text Titan Medical to the number 22828, and you'll be automatically included in that newsletter. And every week you'll get the newsletter about events going on with Titan, current therapies, new therapies, what we got going on, so you guys can stay in the loop. Discounts, because we always got discounts, and I always throw them on you guys. And right now is a discount. So for the therapy of the week, the blood work is the therapy of the week. Because we're talking about some of the things that include blood work and what you need to have done and seen blood work wise to even approach to make you feel better. So blood work's going to be a big one, and we have discounts on that. So the discounts on that are good till Christmas. We'll take text messages all the way in, even if you don't hear something back on Christmas, because we're closed tomorrow for Christmas. We're only doing a half a day in the office. The girls are in there right now working, busting it out, trying to help people as much as possible before the day ends. So it's
Sort of new goal or everybody does that. I mean, come on. I mean, I know some of us out there talk about it like, all these New Year's resolutions or whatever. Yeah. But in all reality, we all say, oh my goodness, I can't believe 2019 just, it went right past me. I didn't even notice now it's gone. And now I'm in 2020. What am I going to do with myself in 2020? I want to be a better me. I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better mom. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better husband. I want to be better at work. I want that promotion. I want this. I want that. I want this. Everybody wants more. So, I mean, how are you going to do that if you don't feel good?
You got to feel good, and you got to have a plan of attack of some sort, right? You just don't want to fly by the seat of your pants, especially if you're not good at doing it. By what I'd say, not good doing it, not putting a good diet and nutrition plan together for yourself, not a good training program, not knowing where your hormones stand. That's another one. So, I mean, let's just jump into it. So, PCT, and like I asked the other day, what is PCT, John? Post-cycle therapy, right? And do you need it? So, post-cycle therapy goes along with people that were doing anabolics or testosterone, and they were doing it in cycles. That means they were doing it at a time period or a time span, and at that time span when it was done, they were done with taking it, and they go on this post-cycle therapy. So let's talk about it. So when you go on testosterone, what happens is you're going to suppress your natural testosterone function. Whether you're a female or a male, this happens. And when you do that, you can have all different kinds of negative effects if you keep it suppressed. And you're not on testosterone. So when you stay on testosterone, the levels stay up in your body, but your natural levels as far as producing are suppressed. So you're not doing anything good naturally. But you're putting exogenous testosterone in your body's reading it, you're getting all the benefits of that testosterone. Now, if you take it away, and let's say you go cold turkey, you take it away, you're done about 2 weeks later. It depends on how long that testosterone is in the body and gets out of the body, and for everybody it's different because it can absorb differently. It can get out of the body a lot quicker with some people and hold on in some people's bodies a little bit longer. But when it goes down, what happens is you take the testosterone, goes up, the testosterone's gone, it starts crashing down. When you hit that level, your body doesn't know really what to do. It doesn't really signal that it needs to produce testosterone. At that point, it tries to reboot itself. So post-cycle therapy is where it comes into play, where to really try to ignite your testicles or ovaries to produce your own testosterone. So that's where post-cycle therapy comes in. Now, when you're on hormone replacement therapy, here's the thing.
There is no cycle.
There is no cycle. There is no getting off and on. And that's why people say, is this a lifelong thing? Well, it's a lifelong thing per se that if you want the higher optimal levels, you're going to have to be on it. Because your body, that's where the blood work really comes into key in play. Where if you know where your levels are at and you say, hey, listen, I took this blood test, I'm 25 years old, my levels came back at 300. You've not done any other anabolics or any steroids or anything like that previous, and that's where your natural baseline's at. So is it going to get any higher? Well, there's a couple things that you could try to get that level higher, but the odds of it staying that high is slim to none, okay? And we know over years, your percentage of testosterone is going to lower each year, even more. So at that point, if you're going to replace testosterone, that's exactly what you're doing. You don't have the testosterone, you're going to replace the testosterone, and you're going to get all the benefits from that. So it's not a cycle. That's for more of like a bodybuilder that's trying to do this. And even for those guys, I mean, listen, guys, test before you do anything. So that way you know where you stand and you can make an educated decision about where you need to go. Even for if you're an older gentleman, younger gentleman, know your levels. Females, males, it really does take a plan what you can do next. So that's where the blood work really comes into play. So PCT, post-cycle therapy, do you need it? No, because you shouldn't be on any post-cycle therapies with hormone replacement therapy or testosterone replacement therapy.
Because there's no cycles.
There's no cycles.
Yes.
It's an ongoing thing. Either you're going to be on it and get all the benefits and raise your number up, or you're not. Your number is going to stay where it's at, or you're going to get off, and the number is going to go back down to where it was, or maybe a little bit lower, because each year we know it goes lower. So at that point, you really got to make the decision yourself and be educated about what you're talking about and what you're doing. Don't go by bro science. I see a lot of different people. This is another one. So when people say post-psychotherapy, usually their go-to is HCG and Novaldex. All right, so let's talk about that. So tamoxifen is the real name for Novaldex. Novaldex is the manufactured name of it. All right, so tamoxifen. Tamoxifen is great as far as getting estrogens out of the estrogen receptors in the breast area. So you can pull all the estrogen out of there, but all the other estrogen that's left can still affect the body. And that's where I think some of these guys go wrong. Whereas anastrozole is an aromatase inhibitor, it's going to affect all estrogen levels throughout the body. Okay? HCG, it's going to mimic the LH, the luteinizing hormone in the body. So it's the signal that goes to your brain, your testicles, to have it start producing its own testosterone. This will hopefully reignite the testes or ovaries at that point so you can stimulate your own levels. Now, that doesn't mean your levels are always going to come back to where they were or even higher. You know, it might work for you, it might not. And that's where you really got a blood test and see, and then you make the educated decision with the medical provider on what treatment will be best for you with the least amount of cons and the more amount of pros that you could possibly get.
Yeah, you can't just throw a bunch of things at the wall and see what sticks. Because it doesn't work like that.
That's another, common mistake that I see a lot of people doing. Hey, let me throw all these different things at it. And we throw all these different drugs and compounds. What really worked? What didn't work? What are you doing? Do you know?
No.
Which comes to the next thing, your source. So if you're not getting it prescribed from a real U.S. licensed pharmacy, it's really like playing Russian roulette. Even if you know the guy that you got it from or whatever it is, he might not know where he got it from. And he said, yeah, this is good. I got it from my buddy. This could be coming from China. This could be coming from a bathtub. This could be coming from somebody's kitchen. They could be coming from a real lab for all you know. You have no idea. But that is the risk you take by doing it. So if you're having these problems or you want to get back on track or you made mistakes in the past by taking cycles and you don't feel good anymore, because I think that's the biggest thing. I think younger guys in their 20s, they want to hit the gym. They go to the biggest guy in the gym. They ask the guy in the gym, hey, what are you doing? The guy in the gym says, hey, I'm doing this, bro. You can do this. I'll hook you up. All right, cool. They go on this for a while. It's not really a lifestyle thing to them. They're not going to stay in this their whole life. They go on a couple cycles, and then they get off. Their body crashes. It goes down to this bad feeling. They stay at this bad feeling. They don't know what's wrong. They have depression. They have ED issues. It's just a lot of different things. Your metabolism can be affected. And then at that point, they're like, man, I don't know what's wrong. We go to the general primary doctor. He says, listen, you have ED. Let me give you some Viagra. You have depression. Let me give you an antidepressant. Let's put some Band-Aids on these, fix you up, and get you out the door. Now you should be feeling better. Whereas, at that point, are you really fixing the problem? No, you're really not. If you really need to fix the problem, you should correct those hormones. If you get those hormones on track, you won't need the ED medications or possibly the antidepressants. So at that point, you'll get all the benefits without having to take the negative side effects from the medications that you might be getting. Because those medications cause negative side effects as well.
Same thing. I mean, honestly, I can even give you a scientific portion of antidepressants, whether it's, I know Wellbutrin does it, and there's a couple other antidepressants like Lexapro and such that does, raise your SHBG levels. And when you raise your SHBG levels, it can actually, affect your libido. And then if it affects your libido, then obviously you'll have ED issues, or if you're a female, you just may not want to, get jiggy with it.
Yeah, so that affects, affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And males and females are both affected with low testosterone levels and with the exact same symptoms, okay? So libido, so energy, a lot of these different things take place. Ex-bodybuilder here looking to start legit HRT. What levels are considered HRT levels? Okay, so Eric says he's an ex-bodybuilder, right? And he wants to get on legitimate HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy. Notice how I didn't call it TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. Because that would just mean you're just replacing testosterone. Hormone replacement therapy is really what you want to look at. And when we talk about this, let's talk about it. So, LabCorp, levels, total testosterone from 216 to 946. It is a huge variance in the numbers. So at that point, it's for 18-year-olds to 59-year-olds. So if you're within that age range and you're within those numbers, you're normal. Now let's take a look at it. If you're 20 years old and you come back at 217, you're normal. And if you're 58 years old at 217, you're normal. Now who should probably be there? Maybe the 58-year-old that's lived 58 years on this earth and has went through the best prime times of his year. Where the 20-year-old shouldn't really be feeling like that, has all the negative low T symptoms, and has these issues and doesn't know what's going on. So your question is what is the level? So the level really depends on the person, and it depends on their symptoms and their number that comes back and what's going on in their health history and such. But let's break it down like this. If you went to a normal doctor and you try to use your insurance per se, and you got these levels tested, and let's say you got a 220, okay, no matter what age you are. The general practitioner is probably going to say, listen, you're within normal range, everything's okay. They're not even going to tell you your number. I'm telling you guys inside information so you can ask these questions if you ever get these tests done. Say, what is my number? Have you tested my total and free testosterone? And they say, yeah, your total is 217, you're normal, you're on the schedule, you're on the scale, you hooked up with some Viagra for the ED, you know, if you're depressed, we'll do some antidepressants. So at that point, if you come back at 220 and you have these symptoms, it's really not benefiting you at all. You still feel like garbage. You got to take some of the medications. So 220 can be treated, but probably not by a general practitioner. More likely you have to go to a hormone replacement therapy doctor. Now, 200, 300, that's good. If you came back at, let's say, a 700, no doctor is probably going to mess with you at a 700. So you're really going to need a baseline or, you know, I would say below 400, right around there. I mean, there's no really given number, so I'm not going to put a number on it.
You have to remember, too, though, first thing in the morning, your testosterone levels are the highest.
Right.
So it does make a difference, not just on your medical history, your symptoms, your age, what's going on, you know, just putting it all collectively together. But also, if you get your testosterone checked at 7 a.m. versus getting it checked at 3 p.m., there's a big difference in that. Because when you first wake up, it's the highest. Throughout the day, you're going to drop. So you're going to probably have a lower reading. So let's just say, for instance, you had a 400 reading at 7 a.m. versus a 400 reading at 4 p.m.
Yep.
They are two totally different readings because of the time of the day.
Yep.
Very important.
And that's why people, they usually wake up and they're okay or whatever. They get some coffee in them, they go throughout the day, and then when they get home or at the afternoon time, they want to take a nap. And that's another big complaint. Like, you know, I'm all right through the day. I get home in the afternoon, I'm real tired. I just got to go to sleep. The wife's asking me what's the matter. Kids didn't want to play with me. I don't know really what to do. You know, I don't want to have to drink more caffeine or pre-workouts just to hang out with my kids or be with my wife. And those are some symptoms, and those are some red flags you should look for. But that's another thing. When your levels are starting to drop through the day, and you get to the end of the day, your gas tank is out of gas. It's like that. You're driving your car all day, boom, you hit empty. It's time to, you know, if you got a Tesla, you're going to have to recharge that bad boy. Hook it up, go to sleep, get the electrical in it, and rock and roll. But, I mean, if you want to feel better throughout the whole day, because, listen, y'all got to work, right? Unless you're truly blessed where you don't have to. And then at that point, you know, you want to incorporate some of the things that make you happy, whether it's working out, spending time with your family, playing Uno, whatever it may be. So at that point, you want to have the energy. You want to have the mind cognitive enhancement as far as that goes and being in tune to what you're doing, because you don't want the brain fog. That's another big one that people look over with low testosterone. Everybody thinks it's libido and energy and muscle. Well, it really has to come down to the receptors in your brain and how you think. So we know that testosterone affects those receptors and the way that you do think for your cognitive enhancement portion, for your job, for your family, for everyday life, even when you're driving a car. If you look too late or you're not looking around or you're in a fog, you could possibly run a red light. You could be hit by somebody that's wearing a red light. You're not there all the way. And that's why I call it the Walking Dead syndrome. That's what I used to do. Mm-hmm. Get up every day, do my routine, get through the routine, and then be done. I would even train, too. I'm like, damn, like, you know, maybe I'm just tired today. You know, I don't know what it is. And this is going back like 10 years ago. I'm like, man, I get through my workout, I go through my routine, and it's like, man, I'm not really gaining the muscle I should be. Maybe my diet's off. You know, what's going on here? And when I tested my levels, and this goes back 10 years ago, I remember I went into a general practitioner, a buddy of mine,
Remember?
I remember.
Tested you for all these diseases.
I remember. They tested me for lupus, like all these different, they thought I had autoimmune. Right? Right? I mean, they tried to scare the hell out of me. They ran me through the gambit, man. When I tell you I was ran through every test you could possibly take, blood, scans, all that, because I was legitimately trying to find out, like, why do I feel like this? I shouldn't feel like this every day. This is not normal. So when I did the testosterone test at that point, I think it came back at a 98. And the general practitioner was very conservative. I know the older guy, very conservative, general primary practitioner. And I remember he goes, "You need a shot right away." I couldn't believe this guy had testosterone in there. He's like, "I don't give this to anybody except for really, really older guys." He lined up 2 mLs for me, shot me up with 2 mLs. And at that point, I probably skyrocketed for like a week. He's like, "Come back in 3 weeks." And I'm like, man, at the end of a week and a half, I started feeling like that again. I'm like, there's got to be something wrong. And this is where we got into Titan Medical Center. So at that point, we know that people are out there feeling this way and they don't know what to do. And I know that testosterone and hormones are becoming more mainstream than ever. You see a lot of different people talking about it. And even before, I think in the past, like, I remember, like, guys saying to girls, like, she's just being hormonal. Like, this is like, God, this got to be 15, 16 years ago. But, girls would get mad. But, like, I didn't think about it now. I didn't think about it then like I think about it now. But they're right. Like, it's hormones. So hormones do direct everything you can possibly do, from your mood to metabolism to sleep, to the way you think sometimes. So if these things are off, and it's not just testosterone. It could be estrogen levels, it could be progesterone levels, pregnenolone, DHEA. There's a lot of different hormones out there. Merry Christmas, guys. Hi, John and Cherise. What about Clomid for PCT? Yeah, so, all right, so let's talk about PCT. Again, because we're still talking about it. So PCT, so ACG was one of the main ones used. Now, clomiphene or Clomid is another one used. The difference between the two is Clomid is an oral therapy. It's an oral tablet. It's FDA approved to stimulate FSH and LH. So follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These are the two things in the pituitary that send that signal down to the testicle to ignite, to actually produce more testosterone and more sperm. Now, Clomid's great for some people, and it's good for younger people that want to try to get their natural levels up without having to go on testosterone replacement therapy first. And I think we use ACG and Clomid for those younger guys in most circumstances. But I've tried pretty much every therapy that we've ever had, right? And even with Clomid. So Clomid, if you look into it, it does have some negative side effects. With Clomid, I got my levels up to about 800. So that was good. The numbers look great. So on paper, perfect. Did I feel that way? No. The next thing, negative side effects from Clomid. You can have very, very dark and deep depressional thoughts on Clomid. And this isn't good, right? Because you don't think about it, or if you don't have the education to look at these drugs or know what these drugs really do, if you don't have any history with them, you kind of start thinking, is it me? Like, why do I feel like this? Man, I'm just depressed. Nothing's going right in the world. Like,
that's scary.
I don't feel like I should be here. If you notice, suicide rates are at an all-time high, and this goes for age groups, I think 4 and up. I think I was reading this really crazy study how it was saying that in my son's generation, he's 10. It was between 4 and 10-year-olds, or 4 and 12, I can't remember what it was. But the suicide rate has actually increased. Now, I don't even know how little kids are even thinking about suicide. But if you look it up, it's really, really crazy. And we don't know what it's from. So could it be from social media? Could it be from all the other, possible...
Crazy.
Yeah, EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals. Not EDC the festival, but EDCs. Endocrine disturbing chemicals. All right, that we know that we put on our bodies, that we're absorbing into our bodies every day. So at that point, where is it? So Clomid could have that negative effect. So just be careful with Clomid. Now, Clomid's really, really good. They use it for fertility treatments as well, on males and females. So it works on both. So Clomid can be used for a PCT per se. But let's not talk about PCT. And if we want to talk about PCT in our HRT world, right? Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about if you're on hormone replacement therapy, you're on testosterone, and along with that, and one thing, either health makes it that you have to come off testosterone replacement therapy, right? Or financial reasons, you have to come off testosterone replacement therapy. We don't want you to crash. there's ways to get off of hormone replacement therapy the right way. We can at least go back to those normal levels without feeling the crash and feeling this hard depression or the ED or the irritability that you could possibly have. You know, it can wreck relationships. It can wreck jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't really know the negative impact that you're having in some of these cases. And one was a guy I seen online. He was talking about, I thought my estrogen was off before I tested it because I would have I went on testosterone replacement therapy. I started having these bad screaming matches at my girlfriend, and I could see myself doing it, but couldn't stop myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he tested his estrogen, and he found out this estrogen was really, really sky high, off the charts. His doctor wouldn't give him an estrogen blocker to start his treatment. So after he did it, the doctor put him on it, and he said it came back. Like, he came back and he felt normal. So we got to remember that if your hormones are off, you're going to have an imbalance somewhere, somehow, some way, and it can cause these negative side effects to you and things that you possibly can't even control and you want to control. So it's really like that. I mean,
no, that's like they say that too. Like men go on testosterone and they get the rage, and they get this. They call it roid rage. But like when you're educated and you actually find out exactly what's going on, I mean, it's the high estrogen levels, and then they act like a female on their menstrual cycle, and we all know what females on their menstrual cycle act like. They're not nice, or they're emotional, or they're very. One of the biggest things is being super moody and impatient. Like super impatient.
Irritability.
It's super irritable. So, it's really important, not just to the simple fact that you don't want to get gyno, okay, which is man boobs. You don't want water retention. You don't want belly fat. You don't want all the acne. You don't want all the negative things that come with high estrogen levels. But you want to make sure you're able to be in a good mood.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what
the whole reason you're going on it.
The whole point of having hormone replacement therapy is to feel better, look better, and perform better. That's why it's our tagline. Feel better, look better, perform better. Because that's obviously what you want to get out of it. You want the benefits without any of the negative side effects. And that's really where it comes into play. Eric, you let me know when you're ready, man. Yes. All right. So, hey, if you're a patient with us, you just ask for a shirt. I'll make sure they send you out a V-neck. So I just seen that come through. What's up, Warner? So I appreciate you guys all joining us. Just a little bit of a go about, rewind what we're doing here. We talked about our ABC show, Florida. If you're here in Sarasota, the Crystal River, any of the kinds in between, Sunday, 11 a.m., January 5th, you'll see our smiling faces on TV every Sunday, 11 a.m.
You guys better watch it.
Talk about all different types of things. So if you're in this area, make sure you share it to your friends, because we're going to have cool giveaways. We're going to have a show, clothing line, all different types of things that you really don't get to see on these lives. We're going to be able to produce on there for you guys and make it real, real fun and real cool. We talked about PCT and what is it? Post-cycle therapy. Really not needing that in HRT because you should not be going in cycles, right? So Titan TV is coming. Yes, it is. That's one of the kickbacks I got. We're thinking about a name, and this is Titan Talk, right? So I'm like, maybe we should just name it Titan Talk, and then one of the guys that's in advertising, he's like, well, I don't know about that. I'm like, well, why? He's like, it's Titan. I'm like, okay. And he's like, he's like, maybe girls see Titan in there, and they're going to want to tune off. And because why? Because Titan's in there? Well, I mean, it is a masculine, I guess, feeling, to be a Titan, but you could be a woman Titan.
We said that when we were open the clinic, too. We knew.
Listen, if you're going to be a Titan, you can be a Titan in the industry, you can be a Titan of anything. So that's really what Titan really represents us. So, I'm not going to steer from the name. I love the name Titan. It is what it is. It's made us who we are today. So at that point, I love it. I probably ain't going to stray from it. We'll see how it goes.
You're right. We're getting tattoos. We talked about that. We're getting Titan tattoos. We got to get those.
So if we do that, we'll do a video for you guys so you guys can see all that good stuff. Blood test. So if you guys are just joining us, Therapy of the Week is the full male panel blood test or full female panel blood test. If you guys are watching this, text in right now or call after this, 727-389-3220. Say you want the Titan Special, and that will give you the full male panel for $130 or full female panel for $200. The full female panel is usually $300. It has more tests than the male panel. That's why it's a little bit more money. And the male panel is discounted from $200 to $130. So you guys are getting a lot of savings. Whether you're an old patient, new patient, you want to become Titan, you just want to see blood results.
You might even be just due for your 6-month checkup.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a patient, a current patient right now, and you got a 6-month checkup coming up, you need a blood test if you're on hormones. So you can call or text get the discount on there, right? Get it done so you're actually getting it cheaper. It's going to save you guys money. I get the question all the time, can I save any money? Can I do anything? Well, yes, definitely. You definitely can, and this is definitely one way you can. How old does the blood work last for before getting out of therapy? Okay, so 60 days. So once you get blood tests done, whether it's through us or somebody else, as long as you have the blood test that required that we need, you'll get 60 days. So at that point, you'll be able to come in, use those blood tests with us, and at that point, become a patient, go over these things. Should you come off therapy every 10 to 12 weeks to run a PCT for 30 days, or should you use it when you're on cycle? So, Mike, so that's what we're just talking about. This is not like, so once somebody's on hormone replacement therapy, they're not to come off, after 12 weeks. They're not to come on and off. Let me kind of tell you what it does. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So you're on a roller coaster. You're going up, you're staying up, and you're coming down. And most of the people that, they're talking about some of these things, when some of these people are on their cycles, they go and they put on supposedly 10 or 15 pounds. Now, that could be water weight, that could be some muscle, whatever it is. Then they get off cycle and they shrink down. There's some reasons why they're shrinking down. One, because of water weight, water retention, that could be an issue, hormones being off. Two, they might not have those gains. And three, their body's going through a crash. So at that point, their body's doing everything it can to utilize and stay the best it possibly can in life without having to go through any side effects as far as, putting on fat in different places. So if you have high estrogen levels, you can put fat deposits on. That could be anywhere. That could be for guys and girls, right? So, that's really the thing. So if you're on, per se, a treatment therapy program, there is no coming off unless you absolutely need to.
And then there's a proper way to do it.
And there's a proper way to do it at that point. For guys that are doing, testosterone on their own or these steroid cycles or whatever it is, they're going to have to do what they think is right. And the biggest thing that I could possibly say to them is blood test. Blood test, a baseline level. And what I mean by that is that if you are going to do a cycle per se or do anything outside the curriculum or medical provider, which I would not suggest or recommend, but if you're going to do it, because people want to do their own thing, do a baseline blood test. So baseline, at least, free and total testosterone ranges, estrogen ranges, estradiol in particular, and a couple other hormones. At that point, you have the baseline. Then you can, per se, start your cycle, and you could even do a blood test right in the middle of it for the first couple of weeks. And you can at least see, hey, listen, everything's going like it should be. I don't need to tweak anything. Everything should be all right. And then afterwards, you do your post-blood test. And at that point, your post-blood test, I would say at least 3 to 4 weeks after your last injection or last cycle treatment. And at that point, you can look at the blood test pre, right, in the midst, and then post, and you'll really know where you're going to find yourself. Now, a lot of the times, these guys post really find their levels crashed. I seen Eric on there. He said his levels crashed down to 90 or something like that. So you don't want to feel like that. 216 to 946 are normal. 900 is a great level. 90, not so much. And you're going to feel like that 90. Trust me.
Missing a zero there.
It sucks. It sucks. I've been there. You do not want to be there. I promise you. And if you really do need hormone replacement therapy or testosterone, when you take that injection or you get on that therapy, I say it's like opening the blinds for the first time and seeing the sunlight. It's really like an type deal.
So I have to give my 2 cents on this, though, because I just got to give my 2 cents. I'm sitting here, might as well. So with this, I know that obviously we don't judge, we don't condone, but honestly, guys, and I've seen it because we've been open for so long and we have so many patients, is that if you're super dialed in with your hormones, like your estrogen's dialed in, you're eating right, you're training, you're drinking water, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're sleeping, because that's a huge one.
Absolutely.
People forget that they need to sleep in order to grow. If you're doing all the right things, then you should be fine at a decent dose of testosterone, and everything else is dialed in. Yep. You will get the results you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So you got to be dialed in. You don't want to be on a roller coaster. It's not, plus you don't know what you're getting or whatever. There's many things and many, bullet points I can go through. But I do have to say this much: if you are dialed in, you will get the results you're looking for. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not going to get the results. And sleep is a big one too.
Sleep's a big one. I mean, obviously your diet is going to be one. Your training,
Calories.
your activity, right? And then you're sleeping. So let's talk about it. So I see some of these guys on there, and I'm in a lot of forums and online, and a lot of these people talk about all these different compounds. They could be talking about they're taking like 5 to 10 different anabolic or androgen type compounds. And when they take these compounds, I'm like, man, how long are you going to take this for? Why are you taking this? Well, I'm going to get as much size as possible. Well, how much size are you really going to gain? And that's where quality over quantity really comes into play. If it is quality and you're doing the right things, you're going to gain the most maximum amount that you possibly can of lean mass. And that's what you really should be looking for is lean mass. Don't look at the weight on the scale. And sometimes don't look at everything you put in your body. I've seen some guys who in a normal level for me, I inject 300 milligrams of testosterone a week. So I talked to one guy. He's like, I'm going to do 1,000 milligrams a week. Oh my God. I'm like, why are you going to do 1,000 milligrams a week? Because I'm going to get bigger that way. Well, a little bit more, I understand that, but you're really, really overdoing it. And I've seen guys take 300, and I've seen guys take 1,000 and go the exact same amount of time, and the guy that took 300 be bigger than the guy that takes 1,000. Mm-hmm. The reason is because there's a couple. Genetics, okay, because that's going to play a role. I don't care who you are. Eating, sleeping, and your activity level. How hard are you going to train? What are you going to put in? You reap what you sow. So you need to train hard to get the good, benefits of the results that you want. Don't think, and this is a common myth, I guess. If you take testosterone, you're going to turn to Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not going to happen.
If it was that easy, then everybody would take it.
You see guys walking around like Arnold Schwarzenegger all the time because it doesn't happen. And most of the guys take some of these anabolics wrong if they're not being monitored or they're not going to the right place. And they actually look worse than when they started. Yeah. Or they don't feel good at all. They're like, why? I've been on this for like 3 months. Like, why don't I feel good? I'm not feeling any of the benefits that I'm supposed to on this. Because your hormones are still out of whack. That's the reason. I get a question, and it's from Eric. And Eric's in there all the time, and he knows who he is. I won't mention his last name. But he asks me all the time. It's like a free consult every time I see him. Every time I see him. Man, my diet or my training, or you think my estrogens or this or that. I'm like, dude, you got to stick to a game plan, stick with it, and trust the process. Instead of looking for maybe an easy way out. And I had one guy come up to me in this Festival of Speed a week ago, and he just started. He's on this for a month. He's been on the program for a month. Yeah. He come up and he said, you guys are awesome. He goes, I want to say hi, introduce myself. I've lost 8 pounds in a month with you guys, and I haven't done anything. I'm like, that's awesome, but man, you got to get in there and start doing some activity, man. I'm like, you'll start getting a lot more benefits out of these therapies and the way you feel. You're getting that blood pumping through the body, I promise you. And it doesn't have to be working out. I know we have a lot of pictures. People will think we're all gym-related and all that. The reason I posted those pictures, because I'm controlling the social media for you guys to watch, is because I want you guys to get motivated to at least do some sort of activity. And whether that's running a marathon or jogging down the street or night walking or rock climbing or whatever it may be, as long as you're getting the heart rate up, you're doing some activity, you're getting the blood flowing, it's going to be a benefit to you. And then when I get the question, hey, listen, how do I put on muscle? How do I do lean mass, John? Well, it's not going to be on cardio. You're not going to be running on a treadmill, gaining muscle in your upper body. It just does not happen like that. So, when you talk to girls and they start talking, well, I have this little thing in the back of my arm, they start flapping the arm, and the little thing moves left and right. How do I get this? I just want to get toned. You're going to have to do a little bit of weight training. You're not going to get muscular like a female bodybuilder. And in most cases, those female bodybuilders are taking more testosterone than guys are. They're on regular HRT. So at that point, don't think like that. Think about, listen, you need your body healthy. You need your levels at optimal levels. Think of yourself like a performance race car. And you need everything tested and tuned correctly so you can run that race to the best of your ability. And that's really what we provide. And that's really what I want you guys to understand and where the blood testing really comes in play. It's an outline of what you should be doing and what you should be looking at and what the problems are possibly going on the inside. Because you can't see these hormones, right? You can't see them from the outside. Now, me and Sharice have been in this business for a while now, over 7 years with Titan, and a little bit longer after that. So we can pretty much, I could look at some people like red flag, red flag, red flag. Mm-hmm. These people possibly might have a hormone deficiency. And I'm like, listen, you should really blood test. Once you get to a certain age, you should really blood test.
I should point them out, literally. I could point them out, and line them up and be like, you probably have low T, and then you probably have low T, and then you have low T, it's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. And Daniel Painter said, so hormonal therapy can't just be for 8 to 10 weeks and then focus on post-cycle therapy. No. The reason is, Daniel, is because if you go on hormone replacement therapy, right, you're going on for a reason. Now, if you went on testosterone, your levels were 800, I'd say, yeah, maybe what you're talking about 8 to 10 weeks. But even at that point, you're taking a chance to suppressing and losing those levels and being there naturally. So when you run 8 to 10 weeks, if your levels are fine, I mean, at 8 to 10 weeks, then you're going to have to go to post-cycle therapy for no reason. And to what? Gain 5 pounds and maybe lean mass? Now, if you're feeling like crap and that's why you're taking the testosterone hormone replacement therapy, so that's why you're taking it. You're taking it to be on there and to get the benefits from it and not feel that way. So when you go on for 8 to 10 weeks, you feel great the 8 to 10 weeks. Now you're going to go and mess around and try to get on post-cycle therapy. Why? That's the big question. Why? Because if you're feeling good, everything's good, why mess with it? If you mess with it, now you're going to start messing with things. You're going to start coming down. You're going to have to need these other drugs. They're going to have to try to get your natural production back up and back up pumping again to where it needs to be for you to even feel halfway normal. And I guarantee the 8 to 10 weeks that you're on, you're going to feel a lot better than when you're on post-cycle therapy. And then after that post-cycle therapy, how long is it? Because there's not some guide or some book. I know there's a steroid Bible and all this, and you know, you got a lot of bro science. You got guys that went on there and they ran cycles and then they ran post cycles and they wrote this down for literature, and then people are following this like it is the Bible, but it's not, and everybody's different. So somebody might need a stronger dose of HCG per se to get their testicles to start producing again. They might need Clomid. They might need both. Who knows, right? How long does that go on? 30, 60, 90 days. Now you're on a 3-month. Now you took 8 to 10 weeks of being on testosterone. Let's say 12, right? Now you're going to have to go on 12 more weeks to be on post-cycle therapy to even become normal. You want to shut the door?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got dogs here. My dogs are they're guard dogs. They love it here. So that's really where it's at, you know. So I mean, if you're going to take 8 to 10 weeks of testosterone, why waste another 8 to 10 weeks to going back?
Just listen. If you feel good and then you fix the problem, then just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Then fix it and keep it.
There
And
should
be like, you know, be
you shouldn't have to focus.
stable.
You shouldn't have to focus on post-cycle therapy at that point if you're doing real hormone replacement therapy correctly. All right, Ian Harrison, thank you. Big Ian Harrison, 51. He needs to get his levels checked. And if you guys know Ian Harrison in PCA USA, it's my guy. That guy was a machine, okay? He's been in Olympia for your bodybuilders out there. You guys know what it is. So he's been to that level. He's been to that stage. And he helps people out be their very best today. But just like he said, he's like, he needs to get his levels checked. If you're over 30, you probably need to get your levels checked. You know, even a guy last night, I'm sitting next to him, and sometimes it's a little awkward in some situations. The guy's next to me, looking me up and down, you know, whatever. I'm at this birthday party, and he's like, "Oh, you're in the medical field, you know, ha ha." And you know, he's like, "Oh, are you on juice?" I'm like, "No, I'm on hormone replacement therapy." Oh, yeah, I don't need that. I'm 46 years old, you know.
As he's sitting there with his oversized belly, drinking whatever it was.
So,
and
the dude's like, you know, I'm 46 years old. He's like, I feel great. I feel, you know, I feel good for 46. I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, that's awesome, man. I'm like, you know, how are you feeling all the time? He's like, oh, you know, my black coffee gets me through the day. So I'm like, all right. So you're basically relying on black coffee to get you through the day for energy. You don't look how you should probably, right? Because, I mean, I look at Rodney. Rodney's 49 years old. If you guys know what Rodney's doing,
Rodney.
Right? 49 years old. That guy looks spectacular. He
Killing
looks
it.
better than 30-year-olds out there. But 49, he looks like that. So you can't make the excuse. And then the number one kicker that I hate people saying to me is, when I was your age, I looked like that or better. All right? Okay. All right. I know. At 38, you were bench pressing 600 pounds.
Yeah.
You look like an Adonis. What happened, buddy? Okay? Not to say that some people don't get injuries, they can't work out, and some things go wrong. I'm not saying that, because some people that have been to the level, they go down and they just don't care anymore. So at that point, I understand that. But don't compare yourself to others. That's the worst thing you can do. Compare yourself to yourself and be the best that you possibly can. I don't compare myself to anybody else out there. Do I look at some people and say, hey, listen, man, that'd be really great if I could accomplish that. And that is one thing. And that should drive you, should motivate you, should push you down. I think people get intimidated to almost the fact when they see people and they're like, they don't know how to react. First two things I get out of people is, are you a trainer? And is Titan Medical Center a supplement company?
Or, no, a gym, too.
A gym.
Yeah, are we a gym? I mean, people ask us, like the other day, it was a few weeks back, we're pumping gas at a gas station, and then some guy comes up and he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I like your car, man. And I'm standing there, because we go to, you know, I have to go get gas with John, but not by myself. Yep. That's like a pickup station. Anyways, so we're there, and the guy's like, hey, so, you know, what's Titan Medical do? You know, is that a gym? I'm like, did you not just hear yourself say Titan Medical? I mean, we wouldn't have put medical in there for a gym. We'd say Titan Gym or Titan Fitness Gym, Titan Private Gym, not medical. But, you know, it's funny because people do. They always think John is a trainer.
Oh, my God.
Always.
I guess the way I dress.
Yeah, it's the way he dresses.
That's the way I dress, you know. And I tell people, I'll tell you guys the reason. Why do you guys usually see me in these tanks and stuff like that? One, it's comfortable. But two, listen, I'll dress up. But when I dress up, I'm usually having to move boxes or do something that's ruining my dress clothes. Or if I need to go train at the gym, I literally got 30 minutes to do so. So I'm just ready to rock and roll. Now, when I need to dress up for shows or whatever it is, I will. But if I don't need to, I'm going to be dressed in my Titan gear. I'll be rocking it out. And that's
when we first moved to the office, we were still, you know, meeting a few people that are in the area, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, John, you should totally put on some dress pants today. You know, put on like a nice V-neck and stuff and just, you know, just put on some dress clothes. And he said the same thing. He's like, you know, I just don't want to ruin my shoes and my belt and this and that. And I'm like, it's fine. Just put it on. We're not going to be moving anything today anyway. The first 10 minutes of me being at the office, I'm like, John, I need you to go move that shredder over there. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, in those 3 boxes. Just move it real quick. Real quick. It'll take you 2 seconds. And of course, he's like fully dressed to the nines, and he's just got to move this stuff now. So, you know, he's right.
It's crazy, you know, out there. So, you know, don't be like that. You know, at that point, if people need your help, try to help them out as much as possible. There was another thing, too. So there was another guy, and he was 600 pounds. And I'm not talking about Jack 600 pounds. He was 600 pounds. I actually felt bad for the guy. You know, he's there. And my friend that I went there for his birthday, it was his 50th birthday party. Big shout out to him. He knows who he is. But we were there, and at that point, the dude was like, you know, he was just drinking up a storm, eating everything he possibly could. And I'm like, can I really help this guy? Mm-hmm. And, you know, here's the thing. That you can help somebody only so much, but they need to want to get help. And they need to put forth some effort. And that's where effort really comes into play. And that's why I tell you guys, be consistent and put forth the effort. If you put forth the effort, I promise you get the results. And if you're a person out there who's put in the effort, doing the diet, doing training programs, and you're still not getting the results, it's possibly hormones or something else. Look at it, because once you correct that problem, it's going to be like you will start losing weight. You will start gaining lean muscle mass. And when you start gaining lean muscle, let's not talk about big muscle, but lean muscle. More muscle in your body is going to burn more fat in your body. That is a proven fact. So the more muscle you have, the more fat you can burn. Now, I'm not saying be a bodybuilder, but I'm saying that, listen, develop some of your lean muscle mass and you will burn fat a lot quicker and you will look more aesthetically pleasing, not just to yourself, but to your partner as well. And don't you want to make them look beautiful, like aesthetically pleasing, right?
You know, honestly, guys, too, while I have you guys, I mean,
Paul says he feels like
John
a million
always says he's gotta, you know, you gotta make sure you're dialed in and you gotta, you know, do the stuff, put forth the effort, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I have to make sure I tell you guys this because I feel like some people get it twisted a little bit. Now, obviously, it's amazing if you can go on the really strict diet, eat 5 meals a day, go train in the morning, go train at night, do this, and that. But you guys would be so surprised, even if you made the smallest changes in your diet. Like, for instance, when I first met John, I used to drink a Coke every single morning. That was like my coffee. I used to drink a Coke, like a big, tall Coke, and then probably have one with lunch and maybe with dinner. But little did I know when, you know, I started catching up to me a little bit. I'm like, you know, I don't really like this cellulite on the back of my thighs. It's not cute no more. You know, I'm putting on a swimsuit. I'm trying to go by the pool, look all cute. You can't be looking all cute and got cellulite hanging out. So I'm like, you know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? This is before we opened Titan Medical. And so he's like, man, I'm telling you, you got to cut out that Coke. You got to cut out that McDonald's. You got to cut out. So it's like the simple things that you don't have to be like on some strict crazy diet. You don't have to go from 0 to 1,000. You can literally just cut out the Coke. You can cut out the fast food. You can cut out a couple things here and there. And honestly, it would make a huge difference.
We're actually going to talk about some of these tips on our show for the January 5th Sunday first show. We'll talk about some easy tips for you guys to be able to lose weight and get healthier. But like she said, eliminate the bad stuff. So you know what the bad stuff is. And if you don't, you need to look up what you're intaking. And you'll find out real quick what's bad and what's good. That's the best thing I could possibly say. Eliminate it. Take temptation away. So for my Alcohol Anonymous, right? For those guys, for drug addicts and stuff like that, their first thing is to get away from all the negative, right? All the negative people that surround them, or where they can get these things from and separate themselves, isolate themselves. And to a certain degree, you want to isolate yourselves from certain things. So my example is this. You have a house. If you go grocery shopping, make sure you don't get any temptation treats, Coke products, or soda, or whatever it is. Read the back of the labels. That's the next thing, and I'll go over that too. So when you look at labels, you're looking at two different things. You look at, what the ingredient factor is, so how many ingredients in it, what are the ingredients, and then you look at the nutrition factor, right? How much fat's in there, how much sugar's in there, per serving, such and such. Don't look at the marketing scheme on the front that says organic, vegan. Oh, this is organic and vegan. Oh, this got to be good. This has got to be healthy. I got to eat this all day. No, look at the back and look what really is in it. And that's a big thing. We're looking at lemonade from Publix. We're looking at regular lemonade and light lemonade. And you think the light lemonade, where it says less calories, better for you, is going to be better. You look at the back, and when the nutrition factor really kicked in, the light was actually worse for you than the regular lemonade was.
I couldn't believe it.
So, it's really what you're looking at. You want to keep. And when I look at labels, I make it real simple because I taught my son, who's 10, to do this. Make sure it's simple. So the less amount of ingredients you see, the better. The more ingredients you see in there, the worse it's going to be. I was showing one of the guys art here just shortly, cupcakes from a supermarket. Oh my God! And we looked at the ingredients. I said, look at the ingredients. Man, I swear,
it's like this
big.
Was
this big.
115 things.
It literally was literally that big, full of these different things. And the reason is because, all right, so let's look at it from a business standpoint too. I won't leave these guys out because I understand their reasoning. Their reason is, listen, we're going to mass produce this product. We're going to invest in this product. We need as much shelf time as possible for this product so we can make the maximum amount of dollars on this product. So I understand that, right? But when you look at it from a health aspect of what we're eating and what we're intaking our body, that's not really good, and that's not what we should be going by. That's what they're going by for the dollar, but not us. And usually when they have less preservatives, they have less ingredients, they have less shelf time, which means they're not going to sell as much. They're going to have to throw out more product than they usually would, or eat the money, right? But that's what it is. But if it's a good product, or it's organic or something like that, then it's really worth it. It's worth it to you, and that's why it might be a little bit more expensive. People are always talking about it's so expensive to eat healthy. It's really, really not. And I know for me, when I break down my eating habits, it's very simple. Steak, chicken, white rice, some roasted potatoes, maybe some pastas, and stuff like that. So I always show you guys the the cooking tips on cooking filet mignon. And then I always get the kickback. I can't afford filet mignon every day. I understand that too. But then I really start breaking down how much are you spending on your meals per day. Are you spending $13 a meal, $14 a meal, $20 a meal? Where are you eating at? McDonald's? Subway? I have no idea. So break down your cost of what you're eating meal-wise, and then break down your cost of what it would cost you to eat that filet and that potato that you cook at home. Now you're going to say, well, I can't take that to my job with me. Well, yes, you can, and I've proven that point too. You can get some tinfoil. You can get. I'm going to do it so I can make it economically for you guys and show you guys. Because listen, I even went on a kick where my steak guy rose the price of my steaks by $10 more a pound.
Unreal.
He was trying to charge me $45 a pound on filet mignon. Now listen, guys, I understand, but even to me that was a little too high for my liking, right? So I said, you know what, screw it, Cherise. I'm going to go on an all-chicken diet. And that's what I did. I went on all chicken. I ate chicken in the morning, I ate chicken in the afternoon, I ate chicken at dinner. That's what I ate. I was chicken. I was turning into chicken. Cost factor. I think it cost me like $30 the whole day or $40 the whole day to eat. And that was what, 5 chicken breasts cut up at a time?
Yeah.
How is it?
No, it was 5? It was 3.
Three chicken breasts cut up each meal from this place. and I got it delivered through Uber Eats, and it was just grilled chicken. It was awesome, right? So there's ways to be economically, functional, I guess, as far as your eating habits and staying clean and eating properly. So that's the biggest thing. I think that your diet is one thing you should clean up the most. Water. I don't like water. I don't like the taste of water. Are you serious right now? Your body's made up of a majority of water. So at that point, you really should do it. You spend $200 a week on the road, AK and semi. Wow. So all right. So you're taking that. I will talk about HCG and gynecomastia real quick in 1 second. So Paul spends $200 a week on the road.
Damn, Paul.
In the semi. So Paul understands, right? But Paul's probably eating pretty good if you're making good choices in what he's eating. So, fruit's a good one. Try not to get packaged things. So I eat boiled eggs. I seen another thing for boiled eggs in the packages. So you can see them at Starbucks or like one of these big box places. And you're like, man, it's a hard-boiled egg. It's got to be good for me, right? Well, now I started seeing like Listerine.
Something bad.
It's starting to come out in this. So they're starting to take that off the shelves. So guys, if you guys are preparing your food, you know how it's prepared. You know what's in it. You know when it was cooked. And you have the ultimate control over what's going in your body. I would really, really recommend that. Now, do I go out and eat some places? Sometimes. But you won't see me eating out all the time. I am going to eat. And if it is, it's the exact same place over and over and over for Uber Eats because I know exactly what I'm going to get. And it's very consistent all the time. But eating at home is really going to control what you're going to be able to do with your body. And water is a natural thing for your body to take in, and I think it's one of the most important things. It's even more important than food. You need water more than you need food. Did you know that? You will die faster from dehydration than you will from starving. Isn't that a fun fact? Why? Because your body needs it. That's why your organs are made up of water. They have water in them. Your blood, water.
Honestly, guys, the more water you drink, the better you'll look. I mean, it's true. It's a true statement.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about HCG in relation to gynecomastia. Good question. All right, so gynecomastia. What is gynecomastia? Gynecomastia, for you guys in layman terms, is man boobs. It's when tissue grows in your chest area, pectoral area, and at that point, it creates an unaesthetic looking effect for you, a pleasing effect, I guess, for guys, or maybe some guys want it, who are doing they're doing a switch over, a conversion from male to female. They want their estrogen to go high, and it happens all the time, and that's how they get natural boobs per se, right? All it is fat, right? But it's tissue. It's tissue that's grown in that area. So HCG in conjunction with this. Now testosterone and HCG, what are they going to do? They're going to raise testosterone levels. Now what happens when your testosterone gets raised? So it basically converts into two different things. DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone, and then it gets produced into estrogen. When your estrogen levels go up and they stay up, that will create more tissue to be grown in the body. That's why if you're on testosterone, you still need a little bit of estrogen in normal range. And this is for everything to work properly and for you to be able to grow lean muscle tissue. Now, if it's too high and stays too high, that's where the problem happens with gynecomastia and people growing this extra tissue in these areas and them having man boobs and then never being able to get rid of it. The only way that you're going to be able to get rid of gynecomastia is through surgery. Guys, we got 1 minute left on our Facebook. Yeah. So I'm sorry. All right. On Instagram. Sorry for you guys on Instagram. Facebook, I think we got a little bit longer. All right. Upcoming events. Go. Sunday, January 12th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Gasparilla. If you're in town, Saturday, January 25th, we'll be in the parade. Titan Medical Center will have a float. We are taking over 93.3's float. I hope you guys are in the area. We're going to be passing out shirts. We'll be there. Beads. It's going to be awesome. If you guys haven't experienced Gasparilla, you guys got to come to Tampa and check it out. It's huge.
It's a big deal here.
Big Mardi Gras. But it's a lot better and more PG to a certain extent. Our Titan Weekly newsletter. Code word is going to be Vixen. Vixen. All right? So it's not Rudolph. It's not Prancer. It's Vixen. I knew you guys thought I would do Rudolph.
I thought that.
Everybody thought it was going to be Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph.
That's why I specifically wanted you guys to listen in, and it's going to be Vixen.
How dare you leave Rudolph out?
She's such a Vixen. I named it after her. She's gonna be rolling the sled real soon.
Yeah, rolling.
Follow our social media, please. Facebook, Instagram. Thank you guys. We'll have a lot more stuff. Blood tests. You guys, blood tests. That's the big thing. Therapy of the week. Get it. Text it. Call now, okay? For you guys on Facebook, I appreciate you guys. Instagram is out. But Facebook, thank you guys for tuning in. YouTube, we appreciate you guys. Please, if you guys are on YouTube, please press subscribe. If you guys are on Facebook, please press share. It's right down in the bottom corner. Hit that button. Share with some people that will enjoy this, be educated, and maybe get some entertainment out of it. And please, don't forget, Titan is coming. ABC here in Florida from Sarasota to Crystal River, Sunday, 11 a.m. starting January 5th. You'll see our smiling faces. And we talk about all kinds of subjects. If you guys got some cool topics you maybe want us to cover, this would be the time to get into us. DM Sharice, DM me, DM the Titan page, and we'll get back to you and let you know if we're going to put it on or not. We appreciate you guys tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever else you like to celebrate out there. We love you all. We are all Americans. We all love each other. Remember that. Don't let anything divide our country. We're all in it together. Thanks, guys.